Hi everyone, my name's Lee. Welcome to my channel Cola Flipper. I'm a part-time UK reseller. I buy second-hand items at car boot sales and charity shops and I flip them on eBay for a profit. Today is Sunday the 6th of September. I've had a pretty good day today at the car boot sales. I'm trying to be a bit more restrained and not pick up everything that will make a profit and just really concentrate on the higher margin items. And I've done quite well today. So a mixture of bit of electronics, clothes and shoes. That's no real antiques or knickknacks today. I guess that maybe, but yeah, quite a successful day. So okay, so I'll go through these bits then. So I've had quite a good little set of electronics pickups today. There was a seller who, well, I've probably been there for getting on over an hour at the car boot sale, and normally items like this they get snapped up really quickly, and these were in the bottom of a bag underneath a table, so it just goes to show that rummaging around is definitely worth it, because people don't always put the items that you want to see, that people don't always know how to sell their own items, so if they're not displaying it, you're not going to know about it. So definitely rummaging is a good idea. So I picked up two Sony Walkmans, so a classic sports Walkman, so late 80s, early 90s, and this is a late 90s, maybe early 2000s one. Much slimmer, so you can see the difference, how technology moved on. This is much chunkier, this is slimline soft touch buttons. I did quite well on this. I think I paid £7 for the pair, so really done well. What is good about the sports Walkmans is it's iconic. They're always in yellow. They have a clamshell with a rubber O-ring and a clamp, so that they are essentially waterproof. Now this one is not in perfect condition. There are a few issues. So the tuner, it has got a radio, but you've got the volume knob, the tuning knob has come off, so that's not ideal. The other thing that's not ideal is the battery compartment is completely caked in, it's not battery acid, it's all the battery salt. So I'll come up and show you so you can have a look and see what I'm talking about. So, quite a cool Walkman, solar powered, so you've got a watch on there and you can set alarms, stopwatch, etc. That is what is not ideal. It should have an identical knob there and the tuner's come off. Also, you've got these rubber sealed little plugs, but that one's missing. So it's not in brilliant condition, but these are still quite a rare find. In bad condition, they don't make a huge amount of money, 25–30 quid. If I refurbish it, so what will make sense to do is to replace the belts. You can sell it for more if you put belts replaced, because people know they're going to get something they don't have to then take apart. So that's the little rubber O-ring I was talking about. So it needs a clean out, but where you do have a problem is, you can see there, so this is going to require some work. Once I've prized that out of there, you can see it's all gone. I don't know if you can see actually, it's all green, or it's all corroded. You can dissolve that with vinegar. So once I've managed to get that out, I'll clean it up with vinegar and isopropyl, but I will then have to take it all apart to change the belts, and I may as well change the belts on this one as well. So size wise, you can see quite a significant difference over the years as things progressed. This one, no issues with the battery on this. That's what I was talking about with soft touch buttons. There's no big mechanical button, these are electronic. At the time, brand new, that would have been about 45 quid or thereabouts. So even that being the newer one, this is 20 years old. Once I've got these cleaned up and replaced the belts, if I advertise it as saying with belts cleaned, replaced, I should be able to get somewhere between sort of 35 and 50 for that one. I will push towards the higher end, and I don't mind waiting for £3.50 each essentially. I don't mind if that sits on my shelf for a year if I can get £40+ for that. So that is a nice little pickup. This one, as I said, needs a bit more care and attention to sort out the battery salts that have come out. But I don't know if this was in good condition, belts replaced, no issues with the battery, and without the missing grommets and the tuner knob. Refurbished condition, these can go for 85+. But because it's got the tuner knob missing, I don't know how much that's going to impact it. I still think I should get over £50, but I don't know if I will get anywhere near the 80 because it has got issues with it. But both should clean up nicely. So for £7 outlay, somewhere around the sort of £85–90 for the pair, that's not too bad. It does need a little bit of work and time invested in it, but I think I should do okay with those. What I might actually do for this one, when I sell that, I'll pair it up with a pair of period Walkman speakers. I picked this up with, I can't remember what it was now. I was buying something else today and I said, oh, will you throw in the speakers? And they did. So basically I got those for free. They're period speakers. They'll pack up with that, and it just means as a nice little package, maybe it will sell a little bit better, or it will sell for a little bit more. To be honest, the speakers aren't great, but as a little package, it may help sell it. So that was a nice little pickup there. I was saying I didn't pick up anything old or antique, but I did get this pretty cool pith helmet. So resale value, I'm not too worried about it. I've got a day job, and then I also am a wedding photographer part-time. Been doing that for about 15 years, 14 years. And I also have a vintage photo booth business. So basically if you're at a wedding or an event, people dress up in vintage gear, and I do all the sort of group photos. So whenever I'm at a car boot sale, I'll always look out for vintage clothing and paraphernalia as additional props. To get a pith helmet on eBay, you're looking at probably 15 to 20 something pounds, thereabouts. I picked that up for £3 today, so that will do nicely, and that will go in our props box for whenever we're doing the events. So that's a nice little pickup for a couple of quid. Now this is a good find. This is a HiFi amplifier by a company called Arcam. Arcam are not the greatest, but they're pretty damn good. When this came out 20 odd years ago, this would have been about £250. This is an Arcam Alpha 5 Plus, and it's got a built-in phono stage. So phono means that you can plug in a turntable. Certain hi-fis won't have a phono stage, which means you need to get a preamplifier, so your turntable goes into a miniature amplifier, preamp, and then that goes into your proper amplifier. But because it's got a built-in phono stage, you don't need that. You can get your turntable going straight into this. I paid, believe it or not, only £5 for this, so I did really well. I've actually bought stuff off the guy before, and the other bits and pieces were working. So even at £5, it's not really an issue if it doesn't work, because for parts you'll still get about 30 quid for it, so that's not an issue. If this is working, prices seem to vary around sort of 75 to 120. I will push towards the higher end of that. I will make sure I clean it up beforehand. I will take fantastic pictures of it, and I will try and demonstrate that it's working, and obviously put all the details in there, and try and make sure that I can make it look as good as possible so I can get the maximum profit out of it. So I should do quite well out of this. It's in good condition, no immediate marks, but there's a few little dings on it, but this is a really nice little hi-fi. I'll just bring it up to the camera so I can explain why you can see the difference between a high quality amplifier and a cheaper amplifier. One of the first things is the weight. You need heavy transformers for the power, which give it more oomph. So if it's a heavy amp, the odds are it's going to be a decent one, but there are a few little bits on the back which I'll show you to give you a bit of an idea of what to look out for. So there you go, Arcam Alpha 5. That's what I was talking about. It's got phono stage on there, so you've got your little selector, volume. I mean, it's a bit dirty, needs a bit of a clean up, but very, very simple design. They've not gone into, basically, if it's everything's very functional. There's nothing on here that doesn't have a purpose. Now, if you look at the back, rather than having one of those cheap figure of 8 leads, it's got a much bigger socket. So it's basically higher quality amplifiers will have it's like a kettle lead basically, so keep an eye out for that. If it's got a kettle lead input, the odds are it's a better quality machine. Also, where you connect your speakers, rather than having spring clips where you push in a little button which releases a clamp, these are binding posts. So you can either put in banana plugs, or you can unscrew, put in your speaker cable and tighten up the binding posts. So yeah, keep an eye out. If it's got a bigger kettle lead type input for your power and binding posts, and it's heavy, the odds are it's going to be a good machine. So yeah, I should be able to get somewhere between 90 and 120 for that, and I don't mind if that sits there for a while. I've only paid a £5, so yeah, should do quite well out of that. So this is not a pickup from today, but I've had a couple of people ask about it. I was on a live stream chat with John Luke, the Reselling white boy, a couple of weeks ago, and what was meant to be an hour's chat ended up being about 2.5 hours of us chatting. So me, John Luke, Zahir Malik and Ian, the Master of Pieces, and because we were having a bit of a drink, I had an ice bucket with my drinks in it. I picked this up at a car boot sale end of last year, and I paid £8 for it. And I just thought it looked really cool. Basically, it's stainless steel lined, stainless handles, but it is solid cork. I didn't buy it with the intention of, I did think it could be worth something, but I just thought it looked really cool, and I thought it'd be nice to have something that looked nice around the home. I had a look. It's by a company called Boda Nova. Yeah, that's right, Boda Nova. So it's a Scandinavian piece, and it turns out that these go on, seems they go for, there's quite a few of them on Etsy, not so much on eBay, but it seems that they go for around the sort of £50 to £70 mark. So yeah, it's just literally an ice bucket. So I had some water, some ice and a couple of beers in there. But for £8, if you see something like this, that's cork and either steel or aluminium, have a look on the bottom, see if you can make out Boda Nova. Is it Sweden? Boda Nova, Sweden. It could be worth a fair bit. I like it because I quite like mid-century design, so this is actually being kept, but keep an eye out. So Boda Nova stuff is usually, you can usually tell the Scandi sort of designs, but it's going to be very minimalistic, and they use a lot of cork in their designs. So yeah, if you see anything cork, it's worth having a quick look to see if it is Boda Nova, but that's a keeper. That's going nowhere. So I've done quite well on clothing today. As I've said before, I try to make sure if I'm picking something up, I need to make sure it fits my specific buying criteria, which is either it's got to make me £20 profit after all my fees, or it's got to be something I can flip really quickly for at least a tenner's profit, where I don't have to spend too much time in the way of cleaning or refurbishing. It needs to be a couple of photos, easy to list, bang it out for at least a tenner, or at least £20 if I've got to put a little bit of work into it. So picked up, and I find that clothing fits that criteria quite well. I can usually make really good margins on it if you pick up the right pieces and you pay the right prices. So I've done quite well today. So first couple of pieces I got as a bundle. I had a proper count today of clothing racks, and basically a metre long rack of clothing is about 45 items, and on one row of cars on one side you've got 15 cars, So going up and down an aisle, you're looking at 30 cars at least. So on average, I'm probably seeing it going through 4 clothing rails on each side, and each clothing rail I'm going through about 40-45 items. So when the field is maxed out, I'm going through a minimum of 2,000 clothing items. So when people say, oh, you find these really good items, I don't know how you do it, I get there early and I do the work. You make your own luck. Yes, I live relatively close to a fairly affluent area, but I'm there early and I'm banging through 2,000 clothing items in a morning minimum. So that's why I haven't got 2,000 clothing items here. I've picked out the items that I should be able to do well on. So this little bundle, I've got an Armani jeans coat. It's not leather, it's not fur, it's all faux. So Armani jeans, Armani, again, as most of the manufacturers, the higher end manufacturers have, they've got different levels of within their own branding. Armani jeans is to the lower end of it, which is fine, but it's coming up for winter, September now. So a nice winter coat, got nice buckle detail on the belt. You've got all these sort of toggle buttons, and it's got a nice finish to it. She wanted 15 for the coat, but we worked out a deal on a few bits and pieces. So on its own, that should go for around 60-65 pounds. I'll probably take offers around that, which means that I'll list it for closer to 80. If I list it for 80, it means I've got some wiggle room for sending out offers at say 15 or so % discount. If I want to move it on and someone offers me 20% less, I'll probably take it. But having spent approximately £15 on that, there's some decent margin there, £30+. So that is a great little pickup. So yeah, paid. So the whole bundle. What did she want? I think she wanted 15 for the coat, 5 for both the dresses. So I think she wanted 25 all in, and we settled on 20 for the lot. So yeah, not too bad little deal there. Let me just lift this up, get it out of the way. So Armani jeans isn't really something that's going to be faked either, and I've looked at all the labelling, and that is legit. So yeah, should be able to get that sold for £60+ or thereabouts. Jigsaw jumper. It's got one of these sort of, can't remember what the type of neck is, but it sort of hangs loosely. This was cheap because it's bobbled, so plenty of bobbling around the armpits, but there are no holes. So I've gone through this carefully, no holes. Jigsaw is a great brand to buy, and this is a mix, so polyamide, viscose, whatever, but we've got wool, silk and cashmere, so really fine knit, and it's nice and soft. So I'll just bring it up to show you the label. So Jigsaw's always on my radar as a decent brand. Needs a bit of delinting and debobbling around the arms and armpits. So areas where you tend to get your bobbling is in anywhere that has movement, so the fibres move together, and you'll often get that around armpits. There are no holes, so this I would have thought I should be able to get around the £25 mark is what I'm going to aim to actually achieve on that. So that gets my usual £20 profit. And this, LK Bennett are usually known for their shoes. LK Bennett shoes go for an awful lot of money, and this is a nice LK Bennett dress. So it's a UK 14, so decent size. I couldn't see any damage, and that's the problem when you've got something with this much detail in it. Very difficult to a car boot sale when you're in the scrum and you're trying to get things done quickly to make sure that there is no damage. I couldn't immediately see any damage, but because of the detail that there could well be, still need to give it a proper thorough check. But I couldn't see any immediate staining, couldn't see any immediate damage. So the whole lot, these three, we ended up settling on 20 quid. LK Bennett dresses, I would have thought I should be able to get minimum 35. I'll aim for probably about a £50 sale initially, maybe even higher than that. I don't mind that sitting for a little while. So yeah, I'll probably list it for £50+, but if I need to take an offer, I'll probably go down as low as 35-ish. But again, that hits my £20 minimum margin. So yeah, that's a nice little pickup, all from the same seller. So really pleased with those three items. So we'll get on to the next bit. Now you may recall the other week I picked up a Michael Kors coat. Nice long ladies winter coat. Brand new Michael Kors coat, you're looking at over £600. So it's a good brand to keep an eye out for. So I picked up that and a few other pieces, and the same lady was back again. So had another look through, because I kind of regretted not going back. I'd looked at the bits and pieces, bought a coat and a top, and ended up going home, and I still had money in my wallet, and I thought, oh, I forgot to go back, because I didn't want to spend everything with her quite early on and then not have any money for the rest of the car boot. So I picked up a few bits, went off with the intention of going back later and seeing what was left and coming up with a deal, and I'd completely forgotten, so I left money on the table. She was there again this week. So I picked up 3 Michael Kors dresses, although I think my wife is gonna take this one, so well, it's up to her, but if she wants it, she can have it, but if not, I'll do okay out of it. So this is a nice long dress. You've got that detailing at the bottom, sort of the, was it Bartek type detailing there. Does have a nice little belt as well with Michael Kors detailing on it, and got the little peak bit there. But that is lovely. So I picked up, oh, she wanted a tenner a piece, and at car boot sale you think £10 for a dress is quite a bit of money. Would I pick up Michael Kors in a charity shop for £10? Yes, I would, all day long. Michael Kors dresses, depending on the style and season and what's in and whatever, you should be able to get at least £30 to £35 as a bare minimum. But you can push higher, and it depends on the style, and you can get more, you can get less. But these 3 items I paid, so she wanted a tenner each, we settled on 25 for the lot. So we're looking at, about 8 quid each or thereabouts. £8 each, and I should be able to sell them for a minimum £35. I've done okay there, quite happy with that. Everything's in good condition, and I had a little chat with her, and basically her sister, it was either sister or sister-in-law, used to work for Michael Kors, so when she did, she got huge discounts on the items. She had a lot of good clothing there, so yeah, really pleased, and it's lovely stuff. So yeah, so I think the wife is getting this one. And I'll show the others now. So that's the first one. So we've got a nice summery wrap dress with little thin skinny belt with again little Michael Kors end pieces on there. So I think that should do quite well. Yeah, UK medium, doesn't have a specific size. Both of these were mediums. Again, all of these I would anticipate I should be able to get at least £30–35. I'll probably stick them up for a little bit higher, maybe 45, and see where it goes. If I end up taking an offer on some and selling others at full price, that will work out quite nicely. So yeah, she had a few more of the bits there that looked interesting, but again, I didn't want to spend all my money at her store quite early, but I did want to pick these up this time because they are good and it's a decent price. And if it was in a carpet in a charity shop, of course I'd pay £8 something each. So this last one, some nice metal detailing around the edges, and again has it got proper sizing on it? Can't see a size on that, but these are sort of dresses that really shouldn't have too much problem with shifting, so very happy with these at the price I paid. So yeah, sometimes you make a mistake, sometimes you leave money on the table, and then sometimes you get the opportunity to not so much correct it, but you might get a second bite. So in this case I got the second bite of the apple, and I wasn't going to let it go past this time, so really happy with those as a pickup. So on to the next bits. Now, whilst I did say that I try to make at least £20 profit minimum, I do deviate from that, and that's if I can flip something quickly, or if something is so cheap you cannot go wrong. So yeah, if I'm spending £8, £10, £15, £5, whatever on a dress, top, shirt, whatever, I want to make my £20. But if something is so cheap that you can't go wrong, I still pick them up. This does mean that I'm getting a house full of tap that I do need to move on, but sometimes you just can't pass up a good deal. So Reese, always like a bit of Reese jumper, chunky knit, medium, 50p. I can't walk past a Reese jumper at 50p. It's ridiculous. I should be able to sell that for somewhere between, if I wanna make my £20, I can do it. But if I want to shift it on quickly, I could probably shift it out at 15 to 18 quid quite quickly. I'd get that done in one cycle easily with this time of year. But yeah, if I really want to get my £20 profit, it might sit there for a while. I might just shift that out and get some money back. So yeah, I might be able to shift it on for under 20 quid quite quickly. But at 50p, there's no risk. If it doesn't sell for an awful lot, it's not the end of the world, because it cost me 50p. Same deal for this really. Got a turtleneck. Feels nice, don't know what that is. Needs a little bit of a D-bobble. And this is Bowden, size 14, green turtleneck, sort of a pea green. I gave it a quick once over, couldn't see any holes immediately. You know, it's got a bit more bobbling than I thought, but it's not a problem. I've got the Phillips fabric shaver. I showed in my last video, I think, or the one before, I showed a little demonstration of how easy it is to actually get the bubbles off. It's really no hassle. So where a lot of people will walk past an item because it's got bobbling, I've got no problem with that, because it takes a couple of minutes, you debobble it and it looks like new. Oh, here we go. So yeah, cotton viscose mix, 7% cashmere, 5% angora. So the combination of a bit of cashmere and angora, and it being made by Bowden, I should be able to do reasonably well on that. Bowden's been a bit hit and miss with me. They're a relatively decent brand, but I would have thought, being a cashmere mix, I should easily be able to get 15 to 20 pounds relatively quickly. So that is a nice little pickup, and again at 50p, it's not the end of the world. So to be honest, I might just move those ones out quite quickly at a slightly lower price, and that would get me 30-35 pound back in, and that then, for example, pays for this little pile, or a big chunk towards that. So then everything after that is all profit. So yes, I'm not going to make a huge amount on those two, but it's still decent money and I can shift them quickly. So next bits. I think this is the last bit of clothing, then I've got a couple of bits of shoes. Couple of shoes. Now, this doesn't look like anything fancy. It's sort of a shift dress, but I could just tell from the cut that it looked quite nice, and then I could see, well, it's not, I'm not 100%. So I know Valentino is a high-end brand. This is Valentino Roma, so I'm assuming that Valentino Roma, I've done a little bit of a dig on it, and I can't find anything within the Valentino Roma line currently, so I'm assuming it's a defunct sort of lower level within the Valentino range, because it's not quite got the usual Valentino logo with the V in the, it's got a V in like a rugby ball shape. It doesn't have that logo as normal. So is there still definitely Valentino? I'm just assuming Valentino Roma is a slightly lower brand within. Really, really nice dress. I know it's a bit plain, but it's the sort of thing that people would wear to the office. And if someone wants something nice to the office that's Valentino, they can get it from me. I paid £3 for this, so it really can't go wrong. Let's just have a quick look, see if I can find if it's made of anything fancy pants or not. And this one is 98% wool, so it's a decent quality dress. So wool dress, the fact is Valentino Roma, should help. Not much in the way of comparables, because I don't know if people have been just listing it as Valentino, but it's a nice cut. I would have thought that should go quite well. What am I going to price it at? Because the lack of comps, what I might do, because it is a proper designer brand, I've been talking about, so nearly everything I list is currently eBay, but I've been lucky enough to stumble upon a few really high-end items recently. So I picked up a Alexander McQueen dress a little while ago, which brand new would have been in the US it was $2,700, but you don't get anywhere near that on eBay because people are worried about it being genuine. However, there's a company, another website called Vestiaire Collective, which I'm gonna experiment with. They take a higher commission fee percentage than eBay do. However, you send your item off to them, they authenticate it, and that's why they're taking the extra commission or fee. But because it's been authenticated by the company as genuine, the price that you can achieve is much higher than you would with eBay. So I haven't actually sold anything through them, I've just been investigating a little bit. So it looks like the fees are around, I think the minimum fee is something like £13. I think then between X pounds and whatever the values are, I think it was a couple of £100 up to 1,000 something, but your fee was 15%, and then above, I think it was like a £1,300 item. What was it? I mean, some of their fees, if you're selling like a £6,000 dress, their fee is like £1,300. But who's going to buy a £6,000 dress on eBay? If it's been authenticated by them, say you've got a Hermes Birkin bag or something like that, no one's going to buy that on eBay because they're going to think it's fake. If it's been authenticated, you can achieve a much higher price there, but they take a bigger slice of the pie. So I'm probably going to put the Alexander McQueen one there, and I might do the same with this Valentino one, because I couldn't find much in the way of comps. But Valentino dresses, typically, you're looking at somewhere in the region of £1,000 starting, brand new. So this one being Valentino Roma, again slightly lower in the range, I don't know, but I don't mind Vestiaire Collective taking a bigger slice of the pie if it means I can get a lot more money for the pie in the first place. So I'll experiment, I'll see how it goes, I'll update you as and when it sells, or if it doesn't, or if it doesn't work out. But yeah, eBay isn't everything, so I'm just going to see how Vestiaire Collective goes. Couple more items and then we're done. So as I said, not a huge haul today, but that's because I'm being much more restrained and focused on the higher margin items. Did quite well. One of my first pickups today was these. And these are, again, LK Bennett. And these are in absolutely fantastic condition. The lady wanted, actually I got both pairs off of her. So work this out. Pair of LK Bennett heels in fantastic condition. These would have been 150 to 200 new. She wanted £3. And a pair of Scholl boots. So is it Dr. Scholl? They specialise in foot care and whatever. Scholl boots, which need a little bit of cleaning. She wanted £5 before we settled on £4.50. So yeah, £4.50 for those. I should be able to get winter boots. I tend to get, of a decent brand, somewhere between 25 and 35. I'll probably put them up for around the £30+ mark, and I hope to get around 20. So just under my £20 margin after fees, but relatively easy, clean, unbreakable. That's why I always love shoes and boots. These ones, nice detail. There's your LK Bennett logo. As you can see, immaculate condition inside. No scuffs on the heel. Heel wear is minimal. It's like they've been worn once. So, and you can see there, barely worn. So these would have been somewhere between 150 and £200 new. I've sold LK Bennett heels. Depends on the style as to how much you can achieve. And I had a nice pair with it was a stacked leather block heel, mock croc, in a sort of a mahogany conker sort of brown. I sold those for £50, and I had so many watches on those. These ones, don't know yet. I don't know if I'll get as much. I would have thought I should be able to achieve at minimum £30, 25 to 30 minimum. So for £3 invested, I should do really well out of those. So yeah, nice little pickup. £4.50, £3. That should be 35 minimum, 25-ish maybe for those. But my star pickup was a pair of boxed Bally boots. Again, I'm probably gonna put these on Vestiaire Collective, because on eBay, Bally boots do not seem to achieve as much as you would hope. So, Bally, fantastic manufacturer, but they do not seem to go for huge amounts on eBay. These, for some reason, they had a tag of 32, and I asked how much she wanted, and she wanted 20 quid. So straight away I was like, okay, so she's not asking for what's on the tag. So I'm wondering if she tried selling before and had no luck, so dropped the price, because these were all hers, because they're all the same size, because she had other shoes that were, she had some Lanvin shoes as well, but there was a bit of marking on those. She wanted £20 basic for each of her pairs, and most of her shoes are expensive. Brand new, these would have been at least £450. If you look on the Bally website, you'll find that usually £500 is about their starting price. These are in pretty fantastic condition. Heel tips I will need to replace. To get the most money, you want to make sure that the shoes are in the best condition. So for the fact that I'm going to be trying to sell these on Vestiaire Collective to get a higher price, so on eBay you may only get sort of 40 quid for it, which isn't really she had them up for 20, I paid 17, or that's what we agreed on. I don't want to spend £17 and then only take 40 quid. It's not enough for my outlay. So looking at Vestiaire Collective, it looks like people put them up for around the £150 to £200 mark, which is more what I'm after. So I don't mind if they sit there for a while, because I'll be able to make money back on other bits and pieces quite quickly. And then this is my long-term investment. Whether it takes a year, don't care. It will come back to me, and I will do well out of these. So I'll bring it up close so you can have a look. So again, you got the box, got dust bags, got these. Excellent quality leather, nice detailing. Heel tips, a little bit of scuff in there, but I can sort that out. And you can see the heel tip needs replacing, but I've got heel tips. I bought like 20 heel tips in a pack, so that's not an issue. Again, you've got nice little details there. You've got Bally there, and a quality shoe, a boot even. Let's take that. Will be leather lined. Cheaper shoes and boots will have like a faux leather, and the faux leather ends up cracking and coming off and it looks terrible. So whenever I'm getting boots, I'll open them up, have a feel to make sure that it's genuine leather. So these, again, yeah, made in Italy. It's 39.5, so good sensible size. I should do well out of those, but I don't think I'll do well on eBay. So eBay is, as I said, it's not the best place for everything. It is the best place for a lot of things, but I'm tending to think now that my higher end items, my proper designer items, are going to go there. It may not work out, but because it's authenticated, you can get more money for it. So yeah, Bally, definitely keep an eye out for them. They don't seem to go for as much as you'd expect for a £400, £500 item used on eBay, but that's what we've got to look at. You've got to look at what are the options and make the maximum. I don't want to, if I sold them for £50, I'd be gutted. I don't want to spend £17 and only get £40, £50 back. So yeah, I'm going to go and push the boat out and try Vestiaire Collective. So that's a quick little roundup today. So as I said, a few bits of electronics, some clothing. I tend to go for high margin items, and that seems to be electronics and clothing at the minute. I do experiment and buy the odd other bit of random paraphernalia, and then I'll have it on display until it sells. So yeah, I quite like picking up mid-century stuff, and yeah, if it sells, that's great. If not, it's on my display for a little while. So yeah, hopefully that gives you an idea. If you've got any questions, please pop them in the comments. My name is Lee. You've been watching me on Cola Flipper. Please could you give this a like, so a thumbs up would be really helpful. If you haven't subscribed already, please do. And that's it for me until next time. So I hope you enjoyed it, and thanks for watching. Bye bye.